Sophie Cunningham ain't happy, and she let y'all know about it. And she tried to clarify it today with the press, but we all know the real. She's not happy. She's not happy, and we're going to talk about it. Let's hit the intro. Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Her Game, Her Way Women's Basketball, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. I am your host, Rudy Rodriguez Show. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Ring the bell, leave your comments, and all that good stuff. Hype the video. Let me know what you think. For those of you who were on the live last night for 4 hours, man, fun time, entertaining. Hope everyone had a good time. Yeah, so like I say, I had a good time doing it. I do them impromptu now more often than not. I had a big crowd considering I went till 3 o'clock in the morning. But let's look at what Sophie Cunningham has going on. She had a tweet earlier this week, and you know the reality is you have to really acknowledge truth. So on her podcast, she made the statement, "I'm not even going to lie to you. That was a little kind of frustrating." Now, is that a lie? No. She wanted a longer term deal. She got a 1 year deal for $665,000. And as far as I'm concerned, when you look at the grand scheme of the team, she was paid less than a player that she's better than. And she was paid less than a lot of players that she probably feels she's better than. So, this comment on her podcast, she felt that it made her look snooty or bratty or whatever you want to call it, and try to clarify on it. And for me, she doesn't need to clarify it at all because it's just a fact. She didn't like what she got. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's literally nothing wrong with that. What is wrong with having an opinion? She says, "I'm gonna shut this down right now." Let me share this with y'all. "I'm gonna shut this down right now." "I'm gonna shut this down right now. I'm not mad about the money. I just wanted more years because I love it here. I wanted to get a house so I could bring my dog and donkey to Indy with me." Does she really have a donkey? Does she really have a donkey? Where the hell do you keep a donkey at? Um, that's it. That's the truth. I think we have something very special here in Indiana. Listen, Sophie Cunningham is a mid-tier role player. I think we can all agree on that. But at the same time, I think we can all agree on the fact that she and Lexi Hull are virtually the same player in height, weight, skill set, except that most of us would agree that Sophie Cunningham is better than Lexi Hull. Yet Lexi Hull got a 2 year deal for $1.568 million, $765 this year, $800,000 next year. And Sophie Cunningham got a 1 year deal for $665. She can sit there and say she's not mad about the money. I don't know. I don't think she was worth the money she got. I don't think Lexi Hull was worth the money she got. But if we're going to base it on the market and what the market's commanding for these players and what these teams have been paying for these players, then she would be in every right upset about the money and have every right to be upset about the money. But she's voiced that she's more upset about the years. for which is even more understandable because if you don't know that you're going to be somewhere, see, like this comment, I wanted more years because I love it here. I wanted to get a house so I could bring my dog and donkey to Indy with me. Well, I don't know why you can't bring your dog to Indy. I mean, I don't know where you live. I presume you live in an apartment. I don't know about a donkey now. I don't know where you put a donkey, but hey, it is what it is. Where is your donkey right now? Is your donkey in Phoenix? I don't know. Where is your dog right now? Again, I don't know. But you don't need a house to have your dog. So again, unless your dog is like some dog that needs a darn big old field to run around in to have the dog. But again, I get the fact of you want to buy a house, but at the same time, you don't want to buy a house because if you buy a house and in a year you're gone, because that's what the market has commanded, and the fact that maybe they don't resign you next year and you got to go somewhere else, well then you have a house in Indianapolis. This is not the NBA. This is not where these guys who are making 50, 60 million dollars, 40, 30, 40, 50, 60 million dollars, whatever, can have a house in Miami, then go move to Cleveland, have a house in Cleveland, go move to New York, have a house in New York, and even then they sell them. But what you don't want to do is take a loss in selling your property, because realistically, if she's not playing in Indianapolis, she probably isn't going to want to live in Indianapolis or have a home in Indianapolis. It doesn't make a lot of sense. So I understand that component of it. But let's listen to what Sophie Cunningham had to say to the media today. So I don't have a problem with it. What I think this is another example of failure by the front office. Because of what she's telling you is she's not upset about the money, but she wanted more years. Well, I'm just going to put this out there. You probably could have gotten her for 3 years at 1.7. You probably could have got her for 3 years at 1.8, which would be $600,000 a year, not 665, because she wants more years. And if you give her 600 apiece each year for 3 years, you will have saved money over the course of the contract. Because if you do re-sign her next year, guess what? You're going to pay more. Again, another example of failure by the front office, in my opinion, while at the same time, you're paying a player who's similar to her, who we all know is she's better than, and you're paying that person a lot more money. I mean, and it is a lot more money. It's like over 10%, 10, 15% more. So, let's take a look at what Sophie Cunningham had to say to the media today. And we'll go from there. And let's see right here. This is her press conference interview with the media prior to practice today.
Yesterday we were talking. Kelsey was saying, "Hey, you should talk to other teammates about, hey, with us all coming back and being here and things like that." Did you have similar conversations with teammates about getting back as a group?
1,000%. I think when you have a team like last year, it's just so special. And you realize when people are healthy, what we can do here in Indiana. And so, of course, we are all trying to keep our core together. And, we are so blessed to have a new CBA that allows us, to make more money and to have a lot more benefits. And so teams that were already established, it's like, how can we bring all these players back and fit them underneath that new umbrella? And so, there was details that need to be worked out. But at the end of the day, like, we're all pretty much back, and so we have new people who are going to help us. And it was a fun off season, but I'm glad that our core is back.
What makes you believe so much?
I think last year, Twitter kind of blew up last night about a comment I made on my podcast, but I was taken, just that's not what I meant at all. And I think if you listen to the full clip, you really understand that I just wanted to be somewhere for more than 1 year. I'm almost 30 years old. I want to have a home. I want to kind of get established, and I would love to get established in a place like Indiana. We have such a great time. And, when you find a group of girls who really make you fall in love with basketball again, and you enjoy it, you enjoy them not only on the court, but off the court, like, you want to hold on to that. And so that's what I meant by that. And I think all of them this morning, they're like, we know exactly what you meant. The internet's doing what the internet does, and it's trying to stir things up, but it made me sound snotty and ungrateful, and that is the last thing I ever want. I am so grateful. I know I'm coming off a pretty big knee injury, and so it was never about the money. It was just about the years, because I wanted to be with them, and God forbid a girl loves her teammates. You know what I mean? So I think that we just have something special here when we're all healthy, and I'm just grateful to be back.
I'll tell you this. It doesn't make her sound snotty to me at all. It makes her sound real. This is a business. This is her life. It gets really frustrating with the freaking outside noise from people who always have ridiculous opinions publicly about things. And quite frankly, I don't blame her for being upset. I don't blame her for wanting to have her life in a location. This is not the NBA. They don't make the type of money that players in the NBA make. So bouncing around from city to city is very difficult, in my opinion, comparatively to NBA players, because you never actually set down roots. I mean, most of these players, obviously, a lot of them are not. They don't date men, but for the ones that do date men, they might want to have children. They might want to have a husband. They might want to, be able to raise a family. And that, bouncing around as a woman is different from bouncing around as a man. Because the man doesn't have kids. In the case of a WNBA player, like they may want to have a child. Like, so you never know. You might have a player that gets pregnant in, like, I don't know, August, September of a year, of a year, doesn't even know she's pregnant, and then can have a baby by April potentially, and be able to play in May. I mean, these are just facts, and it's harder if you're bouncing around. So I get what she's saying. I don't think she owes anyone an apology, because again, you want more years. I understand that. You want job stability. You want security. And if you're getting a 3-year, 1.6 million, $1.8 million deal, and you're locked in that city, well, then you feel much more comfortable making decisions for your life. But at the same time, if you don't, then you're just going to go stay in that publicly assisted housing that the WNBA provides. I wouldn't move. I would never move. I would stay in that public assistance housing that they provide, because there's no reason for them to move. If they don't have the ability to, if they don't have the security to know that they're not gonna have a job next year in that city. Like players like Asia Wilson, like she's never leaving Vegas. If she doesn't have a house by now, I'd be surprised, but you would think she has a house by now because she makes real bread. So, unless you're a player like that, when you're a mid-tier role player, you want that security. And I have no problem with what she said. And I don't think she sounded snooty at all. Y'all leave y'all thoughts in the comments on that one. But let's continue.
Clarified mostly. Did you get a multi-year offer anywhere? Or was
Other places I did, and so I know there was comments. Oh,
wow. Okay. You know what? Other places gave her multi-year offers. So she turned down multi-year offers from other places to go back to Indiana. That should tell you how much she loves being in Indiana. That's pretty impressive. She went back to Indiana on a 1-year deal with other teams giving her multi-year offers. Now, what the dollar amount was in comparison, I don't know, but that should tell you enough about how bad this front office is, that this woman went back to your team regardless of the fact, and how much she, at the same time, also how much she loves being there, regardless of the fact that she didn't get a multi-year deal. So I think that's impressive and shows a lot of character on her part.
this is her only offer. No, it wasn't. Like, of course, so I need to stay off Twitter. It's the most toxic place ever. But I just wanted to shut that down, because that's not what it was about. And I just wanted to be with this group, because I think, the more that you can build and you do have a special group and you can stay together, that's when greatness happens. And so I think we do have something special here, and you just want to be a part of that.
At what point did you start feeling healthy and completely yourself again? And at what point did you make that switch to focus on the season and less rehab?
Yeah, I try to do it ASAP. Rehab is horrible, right? And so I think for me, I feel like I got cleared 10 different times. I think people were just being extra sure. And so I fully got cleared in February. And so I've been going, and I feel good. It's nice to be back. It's you play pickup and you do all this, but then once you get out here and you have to be intentional, you have to kind of get used to that speed again. But I feel great. I feel like, our surgeon here with the team doc did a great job, and I'm feeling like myself.
Keep using the word special. What makes this group of girls special?
Yeah, I just think you have a lot of greatness. You have Kelsey Mitchell, you have Caitlin, you have AB, and then you have other people who really know how to let the stars be stars, and everyone else is in their lane, and they know their role, and they do their role really well. I think you're adding in a lot of good people. You have Monique Billings, who is an absolute stud, so athletic. Maisha Hines-Allen, who is a monster. Like, so glad we're on the same team now. I think she is too. And then you have like Raven Johnson, who is a great rookie. I've absolutely loved playing with her. Her vibe, her chemistry that we've created so far has been pretty elite at a very short span of time. And so I'm really excited about this team and where we can go.
Thank you. So congrats on getting back to us.
Thank you.
What ways do you feel like your faith grew during the offseason that will help in your approach to this season?
Yeah, when I was little, I was baptized. I've always been a faithful person, but I just feel like now, it's my own decision. So that's one of the better things I've done in my life is get baptized. But my faith leads me, keeps me grounded. That's my full identity. And so when you have all this noise going on, it's so funny because I was talking to Diana Taurasi this offseason. She goes, what's so funny about you is like, you actually don't give a F. You really don't. All these people, I was like, I know. I was like, that's the funny part. I just don't care. Like this is what I do and I love it, but it's not who I am deep down. And so my faith really keeps me grounded and keeps me who I am. And I think it allows me to shine and just be myself.
Just since being cleared in February, what kind of workouts have you been doing to try to get back into game shape as much as possible?
Yeah, basketball shape is just different. Like you can run as many suicides as you want. You can get your butt kicked however you want, but until you're out here playing, you're never fully going to be in game shape until you're playing games. And so for me, it was just playing a lot of pickup. It was playing 1-on-1, 3v3. It was doing plyos. It was just doing all the little things that you just normally do. So it's like kind of a normal off season, but just a little bit more rehab.
I'm wondering, being back in the Midwest, like you talked about, being closer to home, being on the farm, all that stuff.
Yep.
Did that help shape or change your perspective at all, or appreciate that more this past summer going into this new contract? Like, I want more of this.
Honestly, not really. Okay. I think I never really lost my Midwestern vibe. I'm a country girl at heart, and I think everyone knows. I think everyone's like, oh, you really have been back in Missouri, because my twang is coming out in some of my words. But no, I was out in Phoenix for so long, and I still was there in the off season just because of the weather. But I love being back in the West. These are my people.
And then the other big thing is last summer we were talking a lot about the CBA. I'm wondering, now that it's almost completed, your general thoughts about how it turned out. Do you feel comfortable with the direction things are headed?
Yeah, I do. I think it's funny because we could have got this done probably like 6 months ago. You know what I mean? But we like to keep people on their toes, and I know all the head coaches and GMs and presidents are exhausted at this point. But hey, that's what sports is all about, and so. You got to credit all of them for working their tails off. Some teams look really, really good. Some teams don't, but it is what it is. And I'm just focused on us right now. I'm happy that our group is here, and I know we're going to get back to where we left off last year.
We've gotten to day 3 now.
Say what? Sorry.
We've gotten to day 3 now.
Oh, yeah.
First 2 workouts. Anything stand out about Kate? What have you noticed about her as she's
Kate?
back? Yeah.
She's been back, hasn't she? Like, didn't she just
for the summer?
Yeah, like USA and all that. She's been doing her thing. So people are saying she's back, but I feel like she's been back. But anytime you have her on the floor, she makes everyone around her better. She makes the game fun. Not only her, but Kelsey's coming in with a great vibe. AB's coming in with a great vibe. Lexi looks phenomenal. Like, everyone just is looking good, and when everyone's at their best. In practice is like their hardest competition. That's a recipe for success, and so I'm just happy to be a part of that. I'm happy to be here. I will say I'm definitely feeling almost 30. I'm a little sore. I'm getting up there in age, still 29, but no, I feel better than I ever have, and so I'm really excited that it's here.
All right, that's Sophie Cunningham today with the media. She mentioned also Raven Johnson's a dog. She loves playing with her. She feels chemistry with her. That should probably upset a whole lot of people who don't want to see Raven Johnson successful on this team. However, she says she loves playing with her and called her a dog on the court. So that's pretty awesome to hear. I think it's really, really important for people to know and understand that when a player voices issues with a contract, you really need to know what's truly going on. And when you're talking about a $665,000 deal, and you just want more years, while you're signing Monique Billings to a 2-year deal, you're signing Lexi Hull to a 2-year deal, you're extending Aaliyah Boston by 3-year deal. It's a little frustrating, and I do think they failed in this regard, because that's what they typically do, is they fail in what they do. And they could have easily gotten her a 3-year deal, because I think she's a player that you'd want to keep around for a bit. A 3-year deal at $600 a piece, and you'd save money on her, because you'd have that leverage of knowing that she wants to be here. She turned down better offers to stay here, and you could have gotten her for 3 years at probably $1.8 million. But hey, what do y'all think in the comments, man? Y'all let me know what y'all think. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Ring the bell. This is Her Game, Her Way Women's Basketball, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. Come on now.